Welcome to @Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Let's get a refresh on the top Arizona news of the week.
A consumer alert now on Craigslist fraud. It continues to be a problem for Valley police departments, and the scammers are being more creative with the way they rip people off. Cronkite News reporter Wafa Shahid talked with the fraud victim and has details on how you can protect yourself.
Josh Burton is one of many online users who bought into thriving scams on Craigslist. He supplied his phone number, address, and full name to a potential buyer that ripped him off. Crime might not be the first thing that comes to mind when pulling up Craigslist on your computer. Many people are just trying to get a good deal or sell items quickly, including Josh Burton, who is trying to sell bedroom furniture.
And like 20 minutes later, I get like a dozen texts, and I freak out because I'm like, this is great, like I'm gonna sell this, like Craigslist is awesome.
But the purchaser didn't want to meet in person.
And they're like, you know what, I'll have my shipping agent come and pick it up.
To complete the deal, Burton had to send his PayPal information to the buyer. In return, the buyer said he would wire over money for the cost of shipping. However, the following day, Burton checked his account to find that the amount for shipping was never given to him, and money was taken from his account.
It was embarrassing. Because I told all my family, I'm selling all this stuff. Craigslist is awesome. And then I was like, I lost a lot of money, guys.
Phoenix police say law enforcement is limited on what they can do to stop online fraud.
It's a gamble, and it's very hard for us to track that. Resources are just too thin unless we have someone where we have multiple victims, and we have an opportunity then to track a person down if we can.
Division of like the police department should take a look at that, because it is hurting their citizens.
Craigslist didn't respond to our requests for comment. However, the following phrase, avoid scams, deal locally, beware of wiring, example Western Union, cashier checks, money orders, shipping, is explicitly stated at the bottom of their webpage. They also have a page on their website offering safety tips.
It's incredibly dangerous. Again, you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know who you're meeting.
I will handle business on Craigslist, but only if I can meet them face to face.
Phoenix police say you should also always conduct a Craigslist deal in a public place with another person present, and never wire money to someone you don't know. Wafa Shahid, Cronkite News.
More Arizona teachers are turning to crowdfunding to get the supplies they need for their classrooms. Cronkite News reporter James Anderson is looking into the trend.
As school budgets are squeezed, teachers are getting creative to make sure their students have the supplies they need. And one of the popular strategies is to use crowdfunding sites. A search of the Donors Choose Teacher Crowdfunding website shows about 600 ongoing fundraisers in the state. At Sunny Slope Elementary School in Phoenix, the dictionaries in the 7th and 8th grade language arts classrooms carry the wear and tear of some 10 years, but replacements are coming soon thanks to a new ally, GoFundMe. Sunny Slope serves underprivileged students, and the teachers say they will be excited to have new books. One of the teachers, Jenny Vargas, says small donations have added up. The GoFundMe site was started by a friend, and in the past few hours met its goal of $953. For multimedia coverage and where you can go to donate, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
The City of Phoenix launched Bike Safe Phoenix today, a multimedia public awareness campaign to encourage drivers and cyclists to share the road safely. Reporter Jesse Schultz found out just what the campaign is all about.
The campaign is just the start of a 35-year plan. In that time, Phoenix aims to add more than 1,000 miles of bike infrastructure. City officials told me that they want to make Phoenix a more versatile and easier place to live, no matter the type of transportation.
It's what most bicyclists are looking for.
A dedication from the city to be more bike friendly.
Lisa Parks uses her bike as a primary way of getting around and is thrilled the city is getting on board.
What would be ideal would be to be able to get where you want to go, get from point A to point B really easily, and not really think about it.
Because sometimes the detour takes cyclists to the hospital. There have been more than 450 bicycle collisions in Phoenix in each of the last 5 years. The city is launching a multimedia bike safety campaign to try to lower that number.
It's very important because we want to make sure that everyone's safe, and from a motorist to a bicyclist to a motorcyclist.
Vice Mayor David Valenzuela says a big part of it is knowing how to share the road.
When you drive, be considerate to people on bicycles and understand that they too have a right to be on the road.
The campaign promises to have more public service, radio, and social media announcements, and bus billboards demonstrating the dangers of reckless riding.
The City of Phoenix urges cyclists and motorists to take the Bike Safe Phoenix Pledge to make Phoenix a safer place for all types of transportation.
The pledge urges people on the road to obey traffic laws and be courteous to one another. Cyclists know the benefits go full circle.
It's cleaner, you get fresh air. It's just a really fun way to get around, so people are catching on, and we need to make it easier for people to do that.
To take the Bike Safe Phoenix Pledge, go to the City of Phoenix's website and sign. Those who do and share the pledge with the hashtag BikeSafePhoenix will be eligible to get a discount on a Grid Bike Share membership. In the Broadcast Center, Jesse Schultz, Cronkite News.
The Grand Canal in Central Phoenix is being celebrated as a huge part of the city, with new design plans to make it more welcoming for residents. Cronkite News reporter Ebony Johnson has a closer look at the Canalscape.
I want Phoenix to one day be the greatest desert city in the world.
A high goal set by hopeful resident Will Novak. And with the help from the Salt River Project and Arizona Forward, the city of Phoenix is on the right track by reinventing the Grand Canal.
What really matters is to make your place awesome. The measure is that you want to shoot for is this a place you would ask your girlfriend to marry you at? If it is that beautiful, you've done well.
Carrie Wilcoxon with the City of Phoenix says the plan for this project is to make the canal more environmentally useful for residents in 2 steps.
First is to develop a multi-use path, an alternative bicycle and pedestrian route along the canal, or at least through Central Phoenix. And the second plan, which is, we think, just as important, is to reintegrate the canals into the city life.
Phase 1 of the Grand Canalscape project will expand from 15th Avenue all the way to 16th Street by adding pedestrian lighting and paved roads with the hopes of making a more inviting place for people to be.
Plans that are already in the design process and fully funded, with the majority of the money for Phase 1 coming from SRP.
According to the City of Phoenix, it has a total budget of $4.9 million.
The main point of this project, however, is to receive as much resident input as possible.
For this project to work, we have to recognize that it's really not my project, and it's not the developer or the contractor's project. It's not even really the city's projects, it's the residents' projects.
I can imagine getting some tiles and having kids in their art classes paint the tiles and then putting the tiles on here and making a nice mural. They should be beautiful places. They used to be beautiful places, and we don't spend enough money on beauty, and it's an important thing.
Construction is scheduled to begin this summer. In Phoenix, Ebony Johnson, Cronkite News.
The City of Phoenix is collecting ideas on what the design of the Grand Canalscape should look like, with final design plans to be completed in March of 2016.
More middle-class Americans coping with higher out-of-pocket medical costs are now heading to Mexico. Medical tourism is thriving in Nogales. Cronkite News reporter Erica Lang talked to some of those seeking savings south of the border.
I'm here in Nogales, Mexico, just a few steps from the border, where on this block alone, you have dentists, pharmacies, and other medical services that cater specifically to Americans. These musicians are playing a song about the scenic beauty of Sonora. But many Americans also cross the border looking for something else.
My dad told me I could get my teeth cleaned for $35.
And the savings quickly add up for major dental work.
You're gonna spend $2,500 in the States and you can do it for $800 here. You know, makes sense.
The cost of both private and public insurance has increased along with deductibles, and some services are not covered at all. It's especially difficult for retired Americans.
They have no insurance except Medicare, So they have no dental insurance, generally no eyeglass insurance. They have to go where they can afford it. And so if that means coming down here, that's where they go.
Take care of yourself.
Americans also go to pharmacies in Mexico for low-cost prescription drugs. Cristian Juarez Romero sees it all the time.
Their insurance doesn't cover the medicine, so it's very expensive. They prefer to come here and not spend as much.
Customers pay half price for some drugs in Mexico. And as medical costs continue to rise in the U.S., more Americans are expected to see Mexico as a solution.
Absolutely. Each year it increases the number of people that cross the border to get medical care.
The Reed family is among those who will continue to seek savings south of the border. In Nogales, Erica Lang, Cronkite News.
If you're heading to Mexico or any other foreign country for medical services, here are a few tips. Make sure to check for your doctor's medical credentials, prepare in advance for any language barriers, and bring documents that are current and in order. Also, have an emergency contact and know your legal rights if something goes wrong. For a full multimedia report, head over to our website, cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Frappuccinos, lattes, and Merlot. It may be soon coming to a Starbucks near you. 16 Starbucks locations in Arizona have applied for liquor license. This is part of their Starbucks evening menu, featuring things like flatbreads, craft beer, and wine. Officials for the Arizona Department of Liquor say licenses requests keep trickling in from Starbucks locations, and they don't see them stopping anytime soon.
Coffee has been a really popular item now, and we're paying $5 and $7 per cup. And then what do you do in the evening? Maybe you just transition to a beer and wine bar, or a wine bar in this case. So yeah, we will. I think the trends in alcohol are never going to end. We're always going to see something new.
The liquor department has 105 days to approve the license. During that time period, community members, including competing businesses, have the opportunity to protest.
The World Health Organization released a new study suggesting processed and red meats could be causing cancer. The study classifies processed meat as carcinogenic to humans, causing colon cancer. It also showed that red meat may also be carcinogenic to humans, according to the study. These findings support the public health recommendation for people to limit the amount of meat in their diets. That's according to the group's director. Meat industry groups claim the report is biased and misleading. For full details and more reaction from Arizona meat industry leaders, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 10 women report drinking alcohol while pregnant. A new study out this week says that, unlike past research has shown, no amount of alcohol is safe for developing fetus. Children whose mothers drink alcohol during pregnancy can have a wide range of symptoms, including heart defects, lack of cognitive ability, impaired coordination, and weak impulse control. Because of these health effects, many of these children have a hard time transitioning into adulthood. In fact, 35% spend time behind bars. Cronkite News reporter Jesse Schultz caught up with one Valley family coping with this disorder.
Children who suffer from fetal alcohol spectrum disorder are often helped by health and education programs in grade school. But I found the resources for adults with FASD are slim.
The thing is, you know what it is in your head. You do not know what it takes.
Bobby Kithcart adopted Tiffany 21 years ago. She was starving and abandoned by her mother. Bobby has fought for Tiffany ever since. At 7, Tiffany was diagnosed with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, or FASD.
I definitely wouldn't be where I am without her.
Tiffany's frontal lobe didn't develop fully in her mother's womb. She has problems with memory, irrational behavior, has a learning disability, and more. Bobby worked to get Tiffany the care she needed throughout grade school, but it wasn't easy.
This is the problem with FASD. You have to fit into their box. But the way the boxes are set up, both in education and healthcare, that's the box. You're in it. You get what's in it, but it isn't enough, and it's not the right thing.
One of the most interesting and challenging aspects of fetal alcohol syndrome or fetal alcohol spectrum disorders is the range of of difficulties, the range of physical and intellectual disabilities that can be caused by it.
The Arizona Department of Health told me in 2014 there were 33 babies born with FASD just based on their physical appearance. This model shows the smaller eyes, flat nose, and flat upper lip that most babies with FASD have.
Tiffany is having a tough time adjusting to adult life. Budgeting, planning, organizing, and keeping a steady job is hard.
Like I turned 18 and I was kind of depressed because life hit me all at once.
There really are no resources for young adults with FASD. The system doesn't see them at all. And so you get to be 18, goodbye, good luck.
Sarah Ruman of the Bureau of Women and Children's Health works to keep babies and adults from winding up with this very preventable disorder.
Well, we are all about prevention. And so we would like to get the message out that there's no safe time, no safe amount, and no safe type of alcohol during pregnancy.
Bobby says the message is good, but not good enough.
I'd like to kind of help the state health department understand that they need to get out of the primary prevention mode and start helping these kids.
And Tiffany is one of the lucky ones to have the unconditional help, support, and love of her family.
Tiffany told me she hopes to attend college to be a physical therapy assistant in the future. For fetal alcohol resources available in the Valley, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org. In the Broadcast Center, Jesse Schultz, Cronkite News.
Following the success of the Super Bowl, Phoenix is now slated to host 2 more sports mega events. Cronkite News reporter Rebecca Wynn found out how these big games can boost the Valley's economy.
Phoenix has been selected to host the 2016 College Football Playoff National Championship game, and for the first time ever, they'll be hosting the Final Four games in 2017. But the Valley is expecting a higher return than some other host cities around the country. The Final Four games are returning to the West Coast for the first time in 20 years, and will be hosted in the Valley for the first time ever. That not only means new visitors to the area, but those visitors will also have more time to spend at local restaurants and businesses.
Because of our time zone, the games will actually be over earlier, and so fans will spill back out and go out and eat and go to bars and just the nightlife I think will be larger on Saturday than normal at in other cities. So that just means that people are out spending more of their disposable income here in the Valley.
Brad Wright, the co-chair of the Arizona Organizing Committee for the 2016 College Football Playoff National Championship game, said their focus is also on creating a sustainable funding source for all of these mega events.
So our committee is focused on both the immediate economic impact from this game, but long-term residual economic impact for years to come.
The last 4 BCS National Championship games that Phoenix hosted, the city saw an additional $642 million. With the upcoming College Football Playoff National Championship game, as well as the Final Four being hosted here, they hope to not only see that number increase, but also the overall economic impact on the city increase.
The goals are multifold. One is that we're able to connect with local businesses and help drive their business and show some return to them. And the second is just an opportunity to highlight Arizona and strengthen our economy. As we saw with the Super Bowl, we had companies that we were able to secure to come here to the Valley and move to the region. So it's just definitely a way to spur economic development for the region.
Phoenix will be the first city ever to host the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, College Football Playoff National Championship game, and the Final Four in consecutive years. In Phoenix, Rebecca Wynn, Cronkite News.
An expired meter or not enough cash on hand can make parking in the Valley stressful. Reporter Jackie Padilla found out how one company is tackling issues at the meter with technology.
A new mobile app is coming to Phoenix, and it could make paying with cash at public parking lots a thing of the past. And ParkX is competing in the Phoenix City App Pack with hopes of taking its product to a global market.
With more people using credit cards, cash-only lots in downtown Phoenix are paying the price.
It's a lost business.
Joe Katarski owns 2 parking lots and says he's had to turn down customers far too many times.
More and more people are asking if we accept credit cards, and getting sick and tired of telling them that we don't.
To keep up with high demand, Katarski is first in the Valley to team up with ParkX, a mobile application that puts the parking meter in the palm of your hand.
Now we're able to allow customers to pay using their smartphone and their credit card.
We just hope that we can make people's lives easier when they come down and park. Motorists are always, they're not looking to park, they're looking to do something after they park.
You still have the option to pay cash, but if you download the app and link it to your location, you'll be able to pair your car with a parking space in the lot and make a payment from your phone.
When your time is about to expire, the app will send you a notification allowing you to pay from anywhere, like the coffee shop down the street.
ParkX is one of 5 contestants in the Phoenix Smart City App Hack.
We wanted to participate in the Phoenix technology ecosystem, and this is something that we thought that we could get out there, get the word out about ParkX, and really compete in sort of a fun, collaborative way. 3
finalists from Phoenix will get an opportunity to compete in Barcelona with other cities across the world.
The city finale is tonight at 6:45 at the Orpheum Theater in Phoenix. It's free for the public to attend and to cast their votes for the winning app. In the broadcast center, Jackie Padilla, Cronkite News.
It's been more than 48 hours since the city of Tempe's distracted drivers ordinance went into effect. Cronkite News reporter Ivan Rodriguez found out police will be handing out warnings for the first 90 days.
We want people to drive safely. The best way to drive safely is not even use your phone, not even use your electronic device. Right now, the way the ordinance is written, if you're at a stoplight and you start looking at your phone, there's no reason we can pull you over or cite you for that.
But the way that you can get pulled over is if you are weaving in and out of lanes or driving at a high speed. Councilman Granville says that the law doesn't ban texting and driving in Tempe, and he hopes this law will be a stepping stone to pass statewide legislation.
If somebody hears the phrase, oh, it's illegal to text and drive in Tempe, that's not exactly what the law says. But if it starts to limit law-abiding citizens' choices in a way that creates safety, then I think that's great.
Granville hopes that between the next year to 18 months, the effects that he anticipates seeing will begin to show themselves in accident reports. From Tempe, Arizona, Ivan Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
The number of minority-owned businesses is growing and even outpacing those not owned by minorities. That's according to the U.S. Census Bureau's most recent survey of business owners. The Native American population still lags, but a new program is helping to get entrepreneurs spinning in the right direction.
Gregory and Jonah Hill are twins, entrepreneurs, and on a mission.
I want to be a hermit and just stay in a little room and just fill it with tops.
Do shows outside of Arizona is one big step.
The Flagstaff-based top maker and silversmith are Hopi Quatron.
From the village of Kikuts movie, Pipbungwa, Tapbungwa, which is Tobacco and Rabbit Clan.
They grew up on the reservation and like other natives are using their traditions to make a living, but it hasn't come easy. Native American-owned businesses make up only 3% of all minority-owned firms in the U.S.
What the challenge is adapting those ways to fit with modern society and modern ways of doing business in America.
A struggle for most.
A lot of people who are small business people that I know who are Native have a pretty hard time because they're not really used to interacting with a larger audience.
Adrian with the Native American Business Incubator Network is working to grow the community of Native business owners.
We saw a need and we decided, hey, we're going to address it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to find a solution.
They're connecting Native entrepreneurs, a critical tool for the emerging businesses.
It would be nice if I had a lot of different connections, someone to kind of point me in the direction that I would like to go.
That direction may be as clear as the direction these tops spin.
I think my twin brother is my biggest mentor.
The Native American Business Incubator also helps natives whose businesses are based on the reservation. The struggle there is a completely different one because of the bureaucratic process and the difficulty securing loans and capital.
Now, here's an @Cronkite News Pick of the Week, a favorite from the Cronkite News staff.
Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is commonly associated with Mexico, but it has roots throughout Latin America, and now its popularity is growing in Arizona. Cronkite News Borderlands reporter Jennifer Souls brings us inside the celebrations.
Dia de los Muertos is celebrated in early November. It's a holiday set aside to remember relatives and friends who have passed away. Dia de los Muertos is both about celebrating life and honoring the dead. The festivities are more and more popular every year here in Arizona.
I believe the Spanish, the Mexican influence has really pretty much taken off.
A huge community altar in Mesa, like smaller ones in Mexico, includes pictures, mementos, and traditional flowers. The petals form a path meant to guide spirits back to their families.
This is the 9th year Mesa has hosted the event. It features altars like this one, which took over 30 volunteers and 10 hours to set up. It features tissue paper and marigolds, both traditional staples of the holiday.
Artist Keelan Maney led the altar project and says the vibrance of the holiday is a large part of its appeal.
I think that the imagery is very popular among artists and art galleries.
Caracas y calaveras, or skeletons and skulls, are a big part of Dia de los Muertos. They're often dressed in festive clothes and entertaining situations, and they're not meant to be scary.
When people start to question, well, what does this actually mean? And so they realize that there is a deeper meaning to it, and it's not just some kind of like Halloween event. So I hope that people walk away with a deeper understanding of Dia de los Muertos. Also an understanding and respect for those who've passed on. And this is a place for them to put pictures of their loved ones so we can celebrate their lives.
Take a picture with the popular calaveras, make paper flowers, and dance the night away, all to honor loved ones who are no longer with us.
There are plenty of festivities across Arizona, and though it's called Day of the Dead, the holiday covers 2 days. November 1st is set aside to remember children, and November 2nd is for adults. In the Broadcast Center, Jennifer Souls, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News tracks your likes, tweets, and shares from all our social sites to bring you this news special at Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Join the conversation so you choose the news. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for top Arizona stories anytime.